Hello. Good morning, everybody. How art thou? How great thou art, if you're watching. I love you. Hey, everybody. The moon was made of barbecue spare ribs. Would you eat it? I know I would. Anyways. You know you make me want to shout. Put my hands up and shout. Throw my hands up and shout. Hey, 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 hey. That's God. All right. So let's see. Where we at? Part 4 of the many part of my life. Yep, part 4. Where did we leave off? Okay. We left off at when I left North Carolina, mid-sophomore year. I was getting such a bunch of big old trouble out there. Like a naughty boy. Yep. Well, let me tell you about how the trouble continued. Okay. So yeah, I was saying I got the plane ticket back to Iowa on Thanksgiving. So, and to be honest, I was pretty excited about the plane ticket because then I was like, oh, awesome. Now I get to go back to Durant, see all my friends and stuff. So I moved back. And I just want to say thanks to Corey and Crystal. They did the best job they could do with me. You know, like I was just out of control. They did the best they could, and I just want to thank them for that opportunity. It really changed me as a person in a lot of ways, moving out there. And that meeting that I had with all my football coaches telling me to change and stuff, that stuck with me still to this day. Like, and that generated a focus inside me that made me still want to change to this day. And just them telling me, I was never really good at listening to my family telling me to change, but now I'm all ears to it, you know. And I want to say thank you to everybody, just everybody involved. And I want to kind of reiterate what I've been saying. Like, I don't want anybody in my family to think that I'm like talking down on them through any of this. I'm just telling the truth of everything. And there's no shame in any of it. We all were beautifully made and created by God, and this was His plan. Okay, He authored this whole plan, so it's all good. It's all under God. It's all in His plan. So we're good. We're all good. There's nothing to worry about and nobody to like blame for anything, because if anybody's to blame, it's me. I was the one always running away from Him. But hey, still, it was part of His plan. So am I worried about it? No, I'm free now. He's forgiven me for all of it, so. Oh well. And yeah, so I moved back from NC to Iowa my sophomore year. And when I got back, me and my parents went to a meeting with the principal at Durant High School then about me returning to school. And since it was Thanksgiving and there was only like a month left of the semester, they thought it'd be wise to just have me wait until the beginning of the next semester to start school, which was fine. So what they did is took my grade, whatever grades I had out in North Carolina for the school classes. They just gave me the grade at that mark, at that point. And then I went back in January after winter break to start back at school. Well, in the meantime, I got back and I had a month, and I was just at my wildest, most rebellious point of my life that far. And I instantly started hanging out with my brother and his friends again and started partying. And that's when we started I started playing beer pong, and that's when I started doing a little harder drugs. I mean, not really like harder, but a lot more variety of hard drugs. And I got really into Adderall even more. So that month really kind of did it in for, like, set me into this party zone. Like, I wasn't back to change or do anything good with myself. I just came back and started partying again. And I started bringing my friends, once I, started hanging out with my old friends again, got them into it. And, started partying all the time. I remember the last day of my sophomore year, the night before, we all stayed up all night, me and my friends getting super hammered, and then we went to school super wasted the next day. And so we started partying, and that's where I also started fighting. Turkle and Chris's apartment at Durant, for some reason we always threw down. There was always a fight out there. And my first major fight out there was against Jacob Timpson. Beat him up. He ended up biting me, and that ended the fight because I was so appalled. I'm like, what? You just bit me, Jake? But that's what you get for wrestling with the Holy Ghost, Jacob. And so he bit me. That happened. Then me and Zach Turkle fought, and I pieced him up out in the backyard. I instantly went out there. He wasn't ready for it. And Austin Bowman, you provoked the fight. Like, Turkle was drunk. I was just a punk who thought, and I had just brought my new girlfriend in, Nikki Jones, into the party. And I was trying to show off for her, which Nikki was 4 years older than me. She was all y'all's age, and I snatched her up. Everybody wanted her, but when she met me, she was like, "Oh my gosh, who's this little man child?" So I remember me and Turkle went out to the backyard, and I pieced him up right away. His nose and lip was super bloody. And then we ended up wrestling around. He was a wrestler, and he's way bigger than me. And then I ended up giving up the fight because I was like happy with the results in the beginning, and he was bleeding all over me. So I remember we walked back in the apartment, and I had my baseball uniform on, covered in his blood, and he was covered in his own blood, and he was all super drunk. But that had a lot to do with because I dated before Nikki, I dated this girl, Amber Gillespie, which was his ex-girlfriend, and I was like, we started dating shortly after him. So that's kind of what happened there. So I think there was like just some anger inside him about that, but I still beat him up. And but I still love you, Turk. And so let's see. So yeah, Amber cheated on me with Adam Garza, and he was my boy. I still love him. We're good friends. I mean, it bothered me at the time, but I got over that. Adam's still my boy. So we and excuse me if like this part of the story gets kind of like, you know, confusing or all over the place, but that's kind of how it is. I'll try and stay in a good order of things, but you know, I just started getting really messed up at those times, and yeah, and and I remember one night, this is when I had one Adderall and one hydrocodone. This is the night I actually met Nikki. And I asked John Flack, I was like, hey bro, which one should I take tonight? Which one do you think? And he's like, both. So I took both. And that night I met Nikki at Jerry Burke's mom's house. There's a party there. And yeah, we made out downstairs all night long. And everybody upstairs was super mad, including my brother and everybody, because they all like were in love with Nikki. But that's just like what it happened. But so me and Nikki fell in love, and it was really good for a long time. She was that was the summer after my sophomore year, and she was going into her junior year at the University of Iowa, and I was going into my junior year of high school. So I moved up to Iowa City with her, and we got an apartment on South Johnson Street. I think it was 527 or 524 South Johnson that first year. And I went to high school up at City High School in Iowa City, and she went to college, and things were good. I got a job at the Brown Bottle as a dishwasher, which was right downtown, and I liked that job because it was super easy, but and we would just like go out we were super messed up all the time. We get drunk, high, on every kind of drug you can think of out in the alleyway, behind work, because you just like with dishes, you just catch up on the dishes and then you let them build up more. So we get like a 30-minute break every hour of work. So that was that. That job ended when I took over a shift from my friend DeAndre, and he didn't show up. He was supposed to show up on at like 7. I took the shift for a little bit on Valentine's Day for him, so he could hang out with his girlfriend. He was supposed to come back and let me go hang out with my girlfriend the rest of the night. He wasn't showing up, so I called him and we had some words over the phone, and I said something that made him mad. So he actually got so mad that he showed up at work, and I mean, the guy had demons in him. I've come to find that out for sure, years later. Um, but DeAndre, he came, and DeAndre is really significant in my life, in my story. But this is like the first major event with him. He came into work, and I was doing the dishes, and me and him ended up getting into a fight in the dish area at work, and a bunch of glasses fell to the ground and crashed and broke. And I remember I picked him up and I slammed him, and when I did, I went down to my knees and I bust my knees all up, like completely cut them all up. And so then I had to go to the hospital because I needed stitches in a couple places. And yeah, I remember at Mercy Hospital in Iowa City, they gave me 60 oxycodone just for my knees being cut up. And because I was really good at talking to doctors about getting pain pills. I was really good at it. You know, I always knew exactly what to say in order to get them. And so I did. And that was that. I enjoyed those at the time. So back to school up there. This is where, you know, I really made a huge mistake. So I was, you know, a team captain, best player on my team out in North Carolina, both years, football. But then when I moved and I started partying like that in me really got a hold of my brain. And I, when I went to City High, I should have went out for the football team, and I was gonna, but they had summer workouts, and they're at 5:30 a.m. 3 times a week throughout the summer, and I just thought that was ridiculous. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, summer workouts? What the heck? So, with zero commitment to that, I ended up not playing football my junior year, and City High ended up being the 4A state champs that year. And I just was content with doing drugs and starting to sell drugs. Because once I moved up to Iowa City, I got connected with everybody from like Durant and stuff that was up in the college age was like up there now. So I had all the connections. I had connections to everything, and for drugs. And that I thought was super cool at the time, but really, I mean, obviously it's not. But so I had started getting drugs and selling drugs. That's when I tried cocaine. And the first time I ever did cocaine, I liked it. But the feeling went away pretty quick. And I was used to Adderall, which lasted like 24 hours plus. So I never was a huge fan of cocaine. Because it was supposed to be an upper, and it had zero effects compared to what the Adderall did. And I also, a big part of all of the confusion and just like lack of motivation to do right one of the main things was that I started right before I moved up to Iowa City with Nikki. I tried a Xanax, and I remember that night I blacked out and woke up, and I guess I had a cool story to tell the next. I guess I had what I thought was a cool story to tell the next day. I was like, what? I did that? Whatever it was. And that's why I thought that Xanax is cool. So I started taking Xanax. I started taking clonazepam, lorazepam, Ativan, Valium, Xanny bars, the big Hulks, which are 3.25 milligrams of Xanax, which is insane amount. And I would mix them with Adderall, and that made me the Xanax, which anybody who's ever taken them recreationally knows that it makes you steal. You know this. It's like alcohol in a pill, but it's worse. It's worse. Xanax puts benzodiazepine puts a straight demon inside you. I promise. You black out, and it makes you a liar, a big old liar. It makes you a big old stealer and thief, and it literally turns you into a zombie. Well, so when I was up in Iowa City, I started mixing. That was my favorite, was to mix Adderall and Xanax. So I'd be blacked out, but I'd be going and doing stuff. And I would steal. I started hanging out with people doing robberies. I don't really remember most of that. I regret it. I'm really sorry for anybody I ever stole from. It's not cool. It's really embarrassing to think about now. But I did. But I'm sorry. And I hope anybody, that I ever did can forgive me, if they even know. But most people, I know I got caught up, in some stuff a couple times, but most of the time not. Most of the time people didn't even know that I did that, because it made me really good at it, because there's no anxiety in it. So for instance, I would go walk in a store and I just go take whatever I want and act. And my mentality when doing so was, oh, well, I don't have any anxiety doing this because I'm on the Xanax. So I'm just taking it's mine. My mentality was okay, so I want that. So it's mine already. So I'm just going to go grab it and take it and covet it and make it mine. So, yeah, I started doing this. I completely forgot about Xanax, as being part of my story. And there's nothing good that ever came out of taking Xanax. It was always bad, except for maybe the nasal nacho. Dakota was passed out of Xanax once, and I took a cheese can of spray cheese or canned cheese, and I stuck the nozzle in his nose and filled up his nose with it. The nasal nacho. That's about it. That came out good from that. Except for, I guess we can make good out of it. Don't take Xanax. Xanax it's a product of the enemy. It is completely made to give you evil thoughts and make you forget that you even had those, and it just keeps putting sin inside you. Each time you take a Xanax, it puts more sin inside you. Same with Adderall. I'm sorry to anybody who thinks that they need Adderall. They do not. You do not need Adderall. You might think you do, because that's what it does. First time I took it, the devil tricks you. He tells you, oh yeah, see how good this is? See how good you feel? And you want to do all these things? Adderall is meth, okay? It's the same thing. It's just a more controlled, less dirty version of it. But it's still methamphetamines. It's dextromethamphetamine salts. That's what it is. Or it's methylphenidate. Either way, it's meth. So, I just want anybody to know that, this is a fact. Adderall, pharmaceuticals as a whole are basically a joke. They're all they all mimic. They're all a lie, and they mimic the true power of God. They give you all these they make you think that like everything's okay. And SSRIs, they are just there to drown out they're there, serotonin, whatever. I've taken them all. I've taken Seroquel. I've taken sertraline. I've taken it all. I've tried it all. And it's all just there to drown out and numb out the truth of things that is really out there. You don't need anything but Jesus, people. You really don't. I promise you that. You do not need anything but our Lord and Savior Jesus. So, that be that. Just to let you know. So anyways, let's continue on with the story. So that's when I really started trying hallucinogens too. And one thing about hallucinogens is it really it's another lie. It's another lie. It's fun in the sense that you see a whole different world. And most of the time, they just brought me down into a state of hell. But I was king down there. I was king. I've been king of any level I've been in. So it never really scared me. I kept doing it. I mean, I've ate mushrooms probably over 50 times. I've ate acid over 20, 30 times. I smoked a bunch of DMT. I've done a bunch of 2CI, 2CP, 2CT, 2CB. What else? I've done PCP. I've done all that, and hallucinogens. And when I would take them, what was really crazy is when I would eat them, or whatever I do, I learned that taking Adderall with them took all the anxiety away, and it really just put you into this zone that it took away the bad vibes of it. Unless I overdid the hallucinogens. I've ate a 1/4 ounce of shrooms before, which is a lot. They were Cambodian strain, hydroponically grown, black Death Star shrooms, I call them. And But I also have, like, I was in such a spiritual world. I was seeing people's spirits within inside themselves, and that was crazy. That was crazy. I don't know. There's nothing like what I have now with Jesus, so I'm not gonna glorify any of it. But hallucinogens did really. I've tested every spirit you can think of. That was God's plan with me. Throughout all the hell that I went through by being such a consumer of drugs, it's the end result of all this is that I can say that I've tried every single one of them. Like, name it, name a drug, name a way of doing the drug. Well, kind of. And know that I've tried it. But what the result of all that is, the good that's coming out of that bad, is the fact that I have never felt anything as good as what I feel right now sober. I'm sober. I can't believe it. I'm finally sober after 20 years of this hell, thinking that I need Adderall and all these things. I'm free. The Lord has set me free, and I feel so much better. Ain't no high like the Most High. And it's like, wow, how generous He is to still give up His Spirit unto me. So I'm so happy about that. I'm blessed beyond belief. So I just want to thank you, Father in heaven, for just never letting me go. He never let me go. That's the one thing about it, is I did all those things, and I kind of steered clear of being, like a true Christian, because I think it's because of what happened when my brother. So let's get back to the story, and I'll get to that. So that was like my junior year. I started taking hallucinogens. I tried DMT. I had a complete outer body experience. I floated above my own body, saw my own body. But that was just like because of a drug. I actually realize now that I've been doing that my whole life. And my spirit is anywhere and everywhere throughout the whole world. Like, if I want, and I can tap into a place and a time, and I was there. I can remember it, and I can see things that happened, even though my physical body wasn't there. My spirit was there. It's really cool. But so then then my senior year came. Or no, at the end of my junior year, Nikki Jones, her brothers, Ryan, Austin, Mason, Devin, mainly Ryan and Austin on this topic, they made music. They rapped. They were the QC's finest. And I started rapping with them and making music. And I dropped my first track. It was called DK, Just Killed the Beat. And that was my initiation into the world of making music. And despite the lyrics being foul and full of cuss words, it also spoke a lot of truth in there. Like, I remember one of the first couple bars, I said, my heart belonged to God, but the devil got me sinning. And that was so true. Because God has always had my heart. He's always had my heart. That's one thing. I'm true in that aspect, that you can ask anybody throughout all these crazy years. Never have I denied my Lord Jesus Christ. Never have I once denied him as my Lord and Savior. He's my Father. He is my Father. I am the Son of Jesus Christ. Okay? So, whatever that means to you, let it mean. But it is a fact. I've always been his son. And that's why he never let me go. And he never will. Once Jesus has a hold of you, which he has from the day I was born, I've always been for Jesus. Always. Now, did I always listen? No, but that he doesn't condemn you. He's all forgiveness. He's all mercy. He's all love. Every time that you seek him and you confide in him, he's always got your back. Now, there will come a time eventually when he's ready to put it on you. You will start to feel convicted of things. And that's when you really start to change. But he didn't convict me for a long time. Excuse me. He didn't convict me for a long time. He kept me and loved me regardless of what I did. And that's pretty crazy. That just shows you how deep his love is. These things I'm telling you, everything, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He does. He wants you to be better. He wants you to be an open vessel, a temple for him to dwell inside you. Because that's what being a true Christian's about. But he doesn't, he'll wait forever for you. But I mean, the time's coming with what the state the world's in and everything. I would suggest not waiting. I'd seek God, seek the kingdom of God. And like I said, we are the kingdom. We are the kingdom of God. Our bodies are his temple. He wants to dwell inside you. So let him in. Start letting him in. It's been such a process for me to truly let him in. I fought it. I kept running away and wanting to, I just kept wanting to. What happened with me is this. I remember once I kind of realized that, like, I didn't even really realize it, but when my brother Joel met his wife Kayla, which God will use a girl. If you're a guy and you're just really, you got the heart of God inside you, he's going to use a girl a lot of the times to change you. He will. A good Christian girl. And I didn't understand that for a long time. I thought it was so stupid that my brother Joel, he met Kayla and he started to change. And he quit doing drugs all of a sudden, just done. And then next thing I know, shortly after, he quit smoking cigarettes, just done. And he was gone, done. And he completely turned his life around for the better. And I want to commend him for that. I want to say, awesome job, brother. I love you. And I've always looked up to that. But at the same time, what he had to do, he had to change his surroundings and the people he, associated himself with. And that included me. And it kind of left me out in the, out in the dark. I felt like, I was like, what the heck, dude? Like, hey, you gotta just leave me. Like, because me and Joel were best friends. We were always best friends growing up, always. We were always together hanging out. And then we started partying together, and he left that lifestyle. And I just was like, and yeah, it would have been super nice if I could have just followed him. But that wasn't the Lord's plan for me. That wasn't God's plan. So I started to resent it, and that kind of like spiraled me down even more, because I was like, what the heck, like, who's this girl? And I'm sorry, Kayla. I'm sorry that I resented you too. I just was like, just hurt about it, because I felt like you're stealing my best friend from me, but really it was Jesus stealing his best friend from me, which is fine, because that's who Jesus is. When he takes you, he becomes your best friend and you his. And so I started hanging out, like, then all Joel's friends, that were my friends too, we would talk about it, and we were all just like, what the heck? What happened to your brother? Blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, I don't know. But really, he should have been like, what the heck are y'all doing? Like, we just like, but we didn't know any better. So then, senior year came, and, Nikki got pregnant. Me and Nikki, we're gonna have a baby, well, for a short-lived period, because then the topic of abortion came up. And at first I was just like, yeah, like, because she was so much older than me, like, she kind of like ran the sitch in a lot of ways. I got the child support money that my dad gave to my mom every month, and I gave it to Nikki for rent, and that's basically the only responsibility I had to pay for rent and stuff. But Nikki basically took care of everything else. And so she decided that we were gonna get an abortion, and I agreed with it. And like, Planned Parenthood was right down the street. The one in our city is huge. Like, people come from out of state to go to that one. Like, it's huge. Like, they've killed so many innocent babies there. It's ridiculous. But I remember we were on our way down there, and I turned around and I was like, let's not do this. Let's not do this. And I was in tears. And she didn't say anything, and I could tell, like, we were just at this, like, place of, like, sadness. And I didn't want to do it, but she didn't, she wasn't going with that notion. She wasn't going with that. She wasn't changing. So I dropped her off, and she went and got an abortion. And I still feel responsible for it in ways. God has set me free from that responsibility, that feeling of, and he, and because he sets you free from all your pain, he loves you. He loves you regardless. But to me, for a long time, I was holding on to that, and it felt like I had murdered a baby. Because that's what abortion is. It's murder. You're taking, people want to, why women and people are getting so mad about it? It's because they don't want to face the fact that they murdered an innocent child. But it's life. It's life. And the only argument they have is for other people. They want to be like, oh, well, what about a 10-year-old who gets raped? Dude, that's none of your business. That's honestly none of your concern. You're just mad because you've probably had 4 or 5 abortions and it's sitting inside you. And that dwells up inside you. There's evil consuming your insides because you did that. But doesn't mean that I'm condemning you for that. I was a part of that once. I did the same thing you did. So guess what? You can be free. I promise you, you can be free from all that guilt and shame. And know that was not that he ordered it and wanted you to do that. It was the enemy. He wants you to know that you can be free from that. You can actually not feel that pain any longer. He loves you regardless. He planned your life out. He wrote each part of your life. And if you can give your life back to him, he's gonna set you on high, and you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna change. You're going to be forgiven for that. And there's nothing like the sweet forgiveness of God. His mercy endureth forever. You know what that means? That means that forever he will always be there to forgive you. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm lucky. Like, I'm super lucky because I've realized that, and I feel it so well inside me. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm forgiven for all these things that I've done. So there's hope. There's hope for you. There's hope for your friends. There's hope for your parents, for your children. There's hope for everybody worldwide to be happy again and to come out of this place that has become a hell on earth. There is hell on earth and there is heaven on earth. And it's just heaven and hell, they're both mind states. It's where you put yourself. It's where, first it's where your life has put you. Wherever you're at right now is due to what you've gone through. And a lot of it isn't your fault. A lot of it isn't. It's from generations before. It's all part of a plan. But right now, you can say, dear Lord Jesus, will you please forgive me and come into my heart? I'm a sinner. I confess, but I don't want to hold on to these burdens. I don't want to carry these burdens inside me any longer. And he'll set you free. It might take a while. It's a process. It took me a long time. I've been asking for forgiveness for a long time, and he forgave me, but I couldn't. I had such a deep set of sins inside me. Mine go all the way back to the very first generation ever, back to Adam and Eve. So for me to come out of that took a long time. I promise it'll be easier for you than it was for me. If you just try, if you just truly open yourself up and try. So you can be free. But, so yeah, me and Nikki got an abortion, and that really changed our relationship completely. After both of our senior years, she graduated University of Iowa. I graduated City High, basically a whole year early, because my grades were always good. Like, somehow I always kept good grades, even though I feel like I didn't do anything, like any of the work. It's so weird. I just was really good at making my teachers like me. I was super good at that. So I just like made sure that I was liked, and they'd always pass me, you know, and I would just do the tests and the quizzes for every class, and I'd pass every class. Like I didn't do, you know, like I wouldn't even show up most of the time. But so, and in North Carolina, I was on a block schedule. And then when I moved back to Iowa to Durant, I was on a 2 semester schedule. And then when I went to City High, I was on a 3 trimester schedule. And so the credits from the block scheduling to the 2 semester to the 3 trimester, they worked out so perfect that after half of my junior year, I had enough credits to graduate. But because of you have to take certain like English 4 years, math 3 years. I think physical education in Iowa you have to take 4 years. Yeah, that's why I had to go back my senior year, and I just did an English class online. They had an online option, which I completed in one night. I found all the answers online, wiki answers, and I cheated my way through that class. Just by every question for that online class that it asked for the English class, every question, every part, all I would do is copy paste the exact question, and then most of them were multiple choice, and I'd put it in Google, and it would boom bring me right to wiki answers, and someone had placed every answer to every single question for that class online. So I finished that in one night. And then I just went to gym. I had gym for one class. So I'd like wake up at like noon every day, go to one gym class, and then that was my senior year, one gym class, and then that English class online. Super easy. And then it came time for me to graduate. And because I had so many unexcused absences, even though I was already graduated, but like when it came time to get a diploma, the guidance counselor called me in his office. He's like, dude, you have like 430 some detentions you have to serve, because each unexcused absence was 3 15-minute detentions. They did it like that, so like athletes could like serve a 15-minute detention and still make it to practice after school, and do it like that. And I had 430 some. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say any names, get anybody in trouble, but yeah, I gave them a sob story, and told them I'm out here working my butt off trying to like make it in life. I live on my own, I don't live with my parents, blah blah blah, and my grades are up. And all of a sudden they cleared all those detentions as if I never even missed. And then so I graduated on time perfectly. So yep. So, and I also played baseball in high school. I was really good. I have the first home run at Holly Springs High School on their baseball diamond. I have the first home run, and that was a long fence. It was over left center field. I crushed it like 400 feet before anybody did, because it was a new school. So, yeah, first one to jack one there. Then I played baseball at City High too my junior year, in between junior and senior year. But I did fail a class the year before, but like I said, it was like a class that didn't matter. I just took it to fill time, because you had to take a certain amount of periods until your senior year. So I had to take like 4 periods. So anyways, I failed a class. So I sat most of the season because of that one failing grade. Which sucked because I was one of the best players on the team. Just stupid. And so then after my senior year that summer, I had 2 graduation parties because my parents had just got divorced, and they wouldn't even they didn't really enjoy each other's company at all, and they both had new people they were with already. And so they actually had separate graduation parties for me, which I thought was cool because then I got to have 2 parties, and there was people who showed up twice, and just and I just figured in my mind, I'm like, ooh, more money. So that happened, and then me and Nikki, actually, it's kind of crazy, we moved back to North Carolina because she had family that lived in North Carolina, in Lumberton, which is it's right by Fayetteville. It's out on a old Lumbee Indian reservation. It's really lawless out there in a lot of ways. I mean, one law was they couldn't sell liquor out there because something to do, I guess when the Lumbees drank liquor, they got crazy, which is true because whenever I get drunk with you, Nikki, you drink liquor or with your mom, oh my gosh, just crazy, wild. We'd get wild, which was fun. But yeah, so you couldn't buy liquor out there. There's this one kid who rode around on a dirt bike carrying a assault rifle on his back, and he was under, I think he was 12 or 13, and he would sell crack. And so we stayed out there the whole summer, and I tried to find a job, kind of, and I was good because I had all my graduation money. And then at the end of the summer, I ran out of my graduation money. And I decided, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm moving back to Iowa. Nikki, you can either come with me or not. Let's go. And our relationship really crumbled out there. We just weren't happy. And it's really dead zone out there. And it was really boring, and there's nothing to do, and we just didn't. There's probably so much to do. We just didn't do any of it. We just I don't know. It's such weird. So that summer was that summer, and on my birthday, I decided I was going to drive back from North Carolina back to Iowa, and I didn't know where we were going to go, but we decided we were going to go stay with her brother, Ryan, in Davenport, Iowa. So we did, I remember it was a 16-hour drive, or 16 or 17-hour drive. It was almost 1,000 miles exactly from where we lived to Davenport. And I did it in 12 and a half hours. I was just wanging it, going 9,500 the whole time. Never got caught until we got back and we were in Illinois, and we were 30 minutes from the Quad Cities. And I was thinking to myself, I was I should slow it down now. What's the rush now? And then I look, and there's cherries in my rear view mirror, and they're way back there. And so I start slowing down, and they slowly catch up, and got pulled over. And the cop's like, dude, I've been chasing you for 15 miles. I was like, oh. He's like, I couldn't catch up. So I got a ticket there. So then we moved to 17th and Gaines in Davenport, which is on the south side of town, south of Locust. So it's ghetto into town, which that whole town's pretty ghetto anyways. But that was that. And we, yeah, like, I'm trying to think, is there even a part of that town that isn't ghetto? Davenport. Anyways, we started staying there, and we had, like, roommate, like, Ryan and Chelsea, his baby mom, had just broke up. She was there when we got there, but, like, literally, like, that week that we got there, they broke up. And, I was just still in party mode. Like, I've been, like, I know, Kid Cudi, your song, Mr. Rager, I know that's about me. Because that's who I was. I was Mr. Rager. I was always trying to party and make the best of every night and every situation, no matter what. It didn't matter what I sacrificed. Because of it, I just was all about a good time and a good vibe and a good feeling. So, I'm definitely Mr. Rager. Always had been that. And even before I got introduced to drugs, that's always been my go-to. Just have a good time, have fun. Have fun, have fun, have fun. So, and I'm still like that. But I don't need drugs to do it. I got Jesus. I got the Son of God living inside me. Yeah. Wait, does that make me the Son of God? Yes, it does. He lives inside me. We are the sons of God. The revealing of the sons of God is now. It is now. Lord, reveal us to the world. We are the sons of God. So, join the club. You're welcome. Yep. Everyone's welcome. Booyah! Everyone is welcome. You know what? Everyone is welcome to do that. So anyways, I remember I got a job at APAC, which was a customer service place. And, and I was for an insurance company, for pharmaceuticals online. And, that really sucked, because you'd have to tell people, like, if their insurance ran out, like, you'd have to tell people, like, you couldn't give them their meds. And it was a lot of old people who, like, relied on those. So it was sad. And, yeah, that kind of sucked, that job. But in the meantime, I also, remember going to my grandma and grandpa Einfeldt's house, and one day with my mom, and at the top of their garbage was 3 pill bottles, and it was 2 bottles of expired hydrocodones, and then 1 big bottle of expired alprazolam, which is generic Xanax, and hydrocodone is generic Vicodin, or Loratab, whatever. So expired to me, that didn't mean nothing. I'm like, awesome. So I snatched those up, and I looked even in the cupboard above, and they had a bunch more. So I kept those in mind, but I took those out of the garbage, and then I went back to the house at 17th and Gaines, and it was a straight animal house, a party house like no other. Like, I'd partied at many houses before, but this was the one I was living in then. And So I basically like zoned out. I was still working my job, but just blacking out for days. And uh quit paying attention to Nikki completely. So I'll take blame for this in a way. I mean, it doesn't really like give you grounds for what you did, but whatever. And I was so oblivious to anything that was going on with her that I had no idea she was cheating on me with the neighbor JG. This little punk ass. And who I love, JG. JG, you're my boy now. No shame, bro. I love you, bro. But she's cheated on me with him. And how I found out was Ryan's brother's daughter, Araya, her brother Ryan's daughter, Araya. She drew a picture and she came up and showed me. It was two stick figures, a boy and a girl. And she said, "Hi, David. This is Nikki and this is JG." And they're holding hands. And I remember it hit me. I'm like, And I still was like, whatever. So, and the drugs had such a hold of me. I still was like, whatever, like, okay, that's weird. But then, one day, all of a sudden, I gotta hand it to y'all. Ryan, her brother, Jeremy Fink, and Alex Chalmers, they were our roommates, and they came, and Nikki was at work, and they all told me, they're like, "We can't take it any longer, dude. Like, Nikki's cheating on you. She's with JG. Like, she's with him a lot." And I remember that day it just instantly sparked this inspiration to write. And I wrote a song. It was called Confusion. And it was all about the whole situation and how now I knew and how, But it was still a pretty, it's like I called her a bitch a bunch and stuff like that. And that, the reason God never really let me keep putting, he allowed me, I've created a lot of lyrics and I've made a lot of songs, but have I put them out? No, because I know better than that. Because I believe in good music. I didn't really realize this for the longest time because, I grew up on Lil Wayne, Luda, Eminem, Kanye, which they all have good inside their music. Like, Go DJ by Lil Wayne, that means go David Jesus. Go David Jesus. Go David Jesus. And I just got deliverance from Lil Wayne's music the other night. I lost it. God, it's crazy. Music has controlled. It has made me, wow, that looks cool. Music has really affected my life completely. And one thing I do like about Lil Wayne, and it took me a long time to realize this, he gave me a deep love for Louisiana, which is super important because that's one of my homes now, and I didn't even know it. And I can't wait to go explore it. It's a home I have never even been to yet. But anyways, the other night I ended up listening to Lil Wayne, and this was like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, and it hit me, and I was just listening to his music and bawling, crying, like, oh my gosh, this is like realizing this music turned me out. It made me who I became in a lot of ways. But uh yeah, a lot of it, um I thank all of the people who taught me about music, or taught me, or whose music I listened to. I want to thank you all. It showed me what the music industry truly is. But now all I do is listen to gospel music and Christian music and worship music because I love it the most. And there's good hip hop, there's good rap, there's all genres of music. There's good lyrics now for all genres. So it's really cool. But yeah, so anyways, I found out Nikki was cheating on me and I wrote that song, and then I remember like it built up in me all day and I was just like, whew, I was furious. And then I went and picked her up from work, and I was just like driving and I was like, come on, blah blah blah. And then I kind of like just snuck it in and I was like, and then finally ended up being like, so what the heck's going on with you and JG? And uh, she didn't want to, oops, oopsies, my phone's dying, so I'm gonna have to end this one soon, probably. But she didn't want to admit to it, so when we got back, she called Chelsea, her brother Ryan's ex, and was like, come pick me up. And she went to Walcott with her and decided to go get drunk and, to avoid the situation. And which I don't blame her. I was being a complete dick about it. And I was being horrible. So then I decided I was there and I was like lonely and it really hurt and stuff. So I called her and I was like, and I like sweet talked her into coming home. I was like, please, I don't care. Like, I deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And I did that to trick her, to get her to come back just so I could tear into her more about it and talk shit. And I remember she punched me in the face like 3 times. Oh man. And yeah, that's when girls started hitting me. That's the first girl that ever hit me in the face. And that was like, it was super disrespectful. But I mean, I deserved it in a lot of ways too. Not gonna lie. But that's what happened there. And then the next day, so Nikki like left and she went over to JG's then that night. And I was texting her and I was calling out JG. So I met JG. I called JG out to the yard and we went to go get in a fight. And then all his boys at their house came and jumped in and they started jumping me. And thanks to Ryan and Alex, they jumped in and because nobody messed with Ryan. Ryan's like the best fighter I've ever met. He has these hands that are just so ridiculous that nobody wanted to mess with Ryan. So that fight ended and I left there. And that was the end of things between me and Nikolai. Nicolier. Nicolover. You were nice. You're really good to me. No offense. Like I've tried to be your friend over the years after that. I really have, and I don't know. I know that you must feel like whatever from everything, but I've tried to like care for you after that. I tried a couple times, so don't act like I never did. Um, so, oh yeah, we even tried to even like make something work after that, like a couple months later, but you were involved with Ryan Ashby, and you were more into him than me. He was a worse drug addict than me, actually. And I guess that must have been your thing. Anyways, no offense anymore. Love you, girl. Forgive you for it all. Okay? Hope you're doing well. Hope your whole family's doing well. Your family, if it wasn't for you guys, I would have. I mean, I may have, but you guys introduced me into the rap game. You guys showed me hip hop, and you guys also showed me what true family, what the love of a true family is. You guys love each other very much, and you guys always have each other's backs, and you guys stand up for each other, regardless of the situations you get into. Y'all will go ride for each other. In many situations, I've seen you guys just ride for each other, and you guys even yeah, when Dylan, after I got jumped by Dylan, whatever his name is, Dylan, frick, I can't even, Woods, and that other guy, when they robbed me, y'all heard about it, and you guys went and kicked their butts. You guys went out, and the whole goon squad went out and kicked their butts. So you know what? I gotta say thank you to you all. You all still, I love you guys so much, and I miss you so much. And one day, I'm gonna show you guys a little something about what I've discovered in life, and we're all gonna ride together again someday. I'm gonna bring y'all in because you guys introduced me, and now I'm gonna introduce you into the new levels of it all and bring you back into the rap game because y'all got the talent, y'all got the heart, and you got the skill, and y'all gonna be on my team. Just so you know, it's just a matter of time before I can, I have something to offer that'll bring you back. So, anyways, I love you guys very much. Thank you so much. Um, so this is gonna conclude part 4, I believe. I've been going for a while now. Um, so, yeah, that is up until about age 19. And then we will continue with part 5 later today. All right. Love everybody. Bye.